I'm Jennifer Kirk and we're going to be doing a box opening session. This is something new that I've bought. The insurance money hasn't come through from the stuff that was stolen in the shed, but I'm not one to have to sit around and wait for that, so I've preempted it and I've got hold of a nice little set for myself today, and that's this. It's the Hornby Northumbrian coach pack. It comes with a locomotive. Bought it today down in Bolton, got it at a good price, and we're going to open it and see what we've got. So let's see what's inside the box. It comes in quite a nice neat packaging. It's one thing that Hornby are quite good at, is these sort of box sets of a complete train. From the box we can see we've got the A4 Pacific, and this is one of the newer Hornby locomotive drive versions, so it's a really good up-to-date model. And we've got the new super detailed Gresley teak coaches, but in the early British Rail blood and custard livery, or plum and spilt milk. I've heard them called all sorts of different things. And according to the box, this is a particular train that ran from Newcastle to London King's Cross in the sort of 1950s, and that fits with the livery. So without further ado, let's get the box open and see what we've got. It's quite an easy box to open, unlike the Bachmann stuff where you're kind of shedding packaging here, there and everywhere. It's a simple open the flap, and then we've got this slide out polystyrene inner. So pulled that out, and we can see there's the protective card layer, and that just stops the insides from rubbing against the box. So I'll put that to one side, and it is a limited edition, so it's limited to 3,000, which is actually quite a lot. I wouldn't call that limited edition, but Hornby do. And we've got number 1884 according to this certificate. So we'll put that neatly to one side. It's quite a nice certificate actually. It's reminiscent of some of my degree qualifications. So it's a good quality paper. Does feel quite nice that some effort's gone into this. And then we've got the important instructions for maintenance for the locomotive. These come in every single box with a locomotive, and it's just operating and maintenance instructions. So like every good model, we just chuck this away and ignore that and do our own thing. And then we can see that inside we've got the A4 Pacific locomotive in the early period of the British Rail era, with the early cycling lion crest and the locomotive. And it's named, let's see, what have we got? Andrew K. McCosh. The locomotive would have originally been called something else when it was new in the 1930s, the real one. I'm not sure what this particular locomotive's original name was. I think they were named, generally speaking, after either things from mythology, things like Golden Fleece, or would have a silver or gold reference, like Silver King, Silver Link, or birds' names. There's Mallard, Bittern, things like that. This one, though, has been renamed after, I believe that would have been one of the directors of the London and North Eastern Railway Company, and it's retained that name into the British Rail period. And then we've got the 3 coaches there, so it's a full train all in one box, which is quite nice. If we look on the back of the packaging, they've got these little holes that you can stick your finger through, and this just helps you get the items out of the box without without damaging them, because they are quite well detailed. And we don't want to break any of that often quite fiddly detail in getting them out. So if we push through with our fingers, you can see there, we can just work these out. So let's have a look at the first of the coach. They've got tissue paper underneath, just so that they don't rub. Just put that down to one side. So this is the brake composite. So we've got first class accommodation and third class accommodation. Later on, British Rail abolished third class, and it just became standard class. Same thing, just different name. That is a lovely coach. I've got some of the LNER teak versions of these, which you've probably seen in some of the previous videos. But these are the blood and custard livery. It is actually quite a nice livery. They do really suit this livery. Very well detailed. We've got a lot of detail on the bogie, things like the steps. Some of this is quite loose. It's something you do often find with these, is because they are quite fiddly and are applied by hand. You might just need a dab of glue to fix that. That's been bent there. The other three are okay. We've got the metal wheels, smooth running. They don't attract too much dirt. All in all, quite a lovely coach there. We've got two others here as well. These two, they're different running numbers, because obviously it looks stupid having the same coach appear twice in a set. And these are just ordinary third class, I believe, corridor. So you've got the corridor down one side with the large windows, and then the actual compartments are signified by the smaller windows. Same underframe and details as the last coach. Final coach. Actually, the final coach is different looking at it. This is an all first coach, so pushing that out there now. There's no buffet car with this set, although it is available separately, and it is something that I may pick up at a later date. They're quite a tight fit. We've got to be careful getting these out. There we go. They're a tight fit because obviously on the boat from China where they're made, don't want them rattling around because they'll get damaged. So there we are, the all first coach again. Corridor on one side and the compartments down the other. And now here's the important bit. We've got the locomotive in here. Again, we can push it out with the finger holes at the back. Very careful because there's a lot of intricate detail on these. They are lovely, lovely locomotives. So just carefully remove the tender there. Oh, it's quite a tight fit actually. I'm always very, very worried about causing any damage. But there we've got the tender, and it's the corridor version. And you can see in the top there's like a roofing bit down there and a tiny door represented in the moulding there. And that was so that on the long distance runs, this train would have taken about 5 hours to run from Newcastle to London King's Cross. And they would have had a spare crew who would have been sitting in the front carriage and could travel from the carriage through into the locomotive to swap with the crew that was driving it without the train actually having to stop. And the tender would be fitted with water scoops to pick up water on the route from water troughs so that it didn't actually have to stop, and that improved the timings on the run. So we'll put that to one side, and now we've got the locomotive. This is the later Hornby locomotive drive version. The earlier versions of the A4 were tender drive, but Hornby has come to their senses and modified the model so that it's got the far superior locomotive drive. I don't know what possessed them to go to tender drive in the 1970s. I know from literature of the time they sort of made out that this was some kind of new feature that was somehow all singing, all dancing, but in more recent years they've come to their senses and tender drive is a thing of the past. So yeah, we've got the locomotive there. We've got a lot of detail inside the cab. You wouldn't necessarily see that when it's running on the layout, but it is nice to see that. And you can see from the coupling drawbar there that connects to the tender, it's got pickups on the tender wheels as well as the locomotive, and this ensures a nice smooth running. It's a lovely finish. It's got kind of a satin finish to the paint finish, so it's not gloss, it's not matte. And that does, in model form, make it look so much more realistic. So there we are. Lovely, lovely model. There's no flanges, I've noticed, on the pony truck. And I'm guessing, yeah, the pony truck is actually fixed. So that will be to enable it to go around much tighter curves than the real locomotive would have been able to go around. That is fitting with the sort of more train set curves that you get with people's model railways. Because space is an issue. And it's very rare that you can get a model railway with enough space that you can get prototypical curves. I mean, you'd be looking at 20 or 30 feet diameter to have a prototypical, even a tight mainline curve. So obviously even in the shed layout we haven't got the luxury of that. So we're going to need these few little modifications to enable it to go around the corners. We've also got a spring there on the front pony truck. and that just helps it ride over any unevenness in the track and maintain contact, and that's important to make sure that it doesn't come off the track. So there we have it, a complete train in a box at quite a really good price. If you're wanting to make up an entire train in one go, this is a really good way of doing it. We've also got here, as would come with the locomotive on its own, some extra accessories. This is for if you want to fit the locomotive with a DCC, a digital command control chip, and this is just an insulating sleeve to make sure that the chip doesn't short out on any of the metal elements of the chassis. So we're not going to use that, so we're going to leave that safely in the box, so that if at some point in the future, if I do upgrade to DCC, it's there to be used. So there we are in a nutshell, the new toys. We're going to take these out to the shed and we're going to give them a test run, and we're going to film that so that you can enjoy it as I enjoy it for the very first time. Well, we're out here in the shed at Bolton Trinity Road, looking a bit bare because obviously all the stock's been moved inside for safety after the burglary. But we've got this out here. We brought it out in its inlay polystyrene just for ease of carrying, so we can carry everything at once. And we're going to put these all on the track. Now, I don't know whether in reality they would have always run with the corridors down one side only, but I'm going to lay them on the track that way because my OCD likes it that way. So we're going to try and get it on the track, make sure all the wheels are on there. So yeah, there we are, there's the first one. Second coach, just move that over, give us some space. And if you're not used to putting these things on the track, they can be quite tricky, but I've had a lot of practice over the years, so I don't need a special railer, but you can get a thing that you just run the stock down and it puts it automatically onto the track for you. But with a bit of practice you just get a feel for how things are supposed to go. Now, the locomotive and the tin, I'll just put that there for now whilst I get the locomotive out. Right, let's get the packaging to one side. Just drop that down there. And you can see that the tender pickup, we've got to make sure that that makes contact. It's quite easy, but it's probably easier to connect them first, then put the entire thing on the track as one. And then make sure that all the wheels go on the track. I mean, this will be quite apparent once you start running it. If it's not on the track, you'll hear it thumping along the sleepers, or if you're really getting it off the track, then it just won't run. But this can be quite tricky because you've got an awful lot of wheels that you're trying to get on the track all at the same time. If you have a big enough layout, then you'd have this in a fiddle yard. You'd only have to put everything on once, but I don't have that luxury, so I'm going to have to put this on and off the track each time. There we are. That feels like it's on the track, so we're going to run that back and couple it up to the rest of the train. Right, that's all on the track now, so let's give it some juice and see how we go. And this will be the first run of this train. And let's see, so we'll give it a bit of juice and away it goes. And there we are. It's good, isn't it? Stop that now so I can talk without having the noise of it drowning me out. But as you would expect with these things, works first time out of the box, no problems whatsoever. And that's you know, when you're spending £100 plus, you kind of expect that. But it's good fun, and I do have some coaches that will match that blood and custard livery, so we can expand that train. I know Hornby do other coaches to match, so we can get a very long matching train, but you know, we can expand it at our leisure. But there we are, that's the Hornby Northumbrian pack with the A4 and the 3 coaches. And if you're wanting to make up trains, quite often these boxed train packs can offer a better value for money than buying each item separately, because I know that at the moment, with the way that inflation's gone, that even buying just the locomotive alone comes to not much less than what I've actually paid for the full pack. And for that we've got the 3 coaches thrown in. Obviously there's no track, no controller, so it's perfect for adding to an existing layout. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing video as much as I have. It's great fun to unbox something new that you've just bought. But don't forget to like this video and share it, and subscribe to the channel, and you can see all of the previous videos, including other trains running on Bolton Trinity Road, the making of Trinity Road, and also the misfortune that befell it with the burglary and the vandalism, and the subsequent rising from the ashes with the repair work that's gone on here to kind of bring it back to its former glory. But until then, you take very good care of yourself, and it's me, Jennifer Kirk, saying bye for now.